Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are wrapping up the rocky planet portion of our solar system with a Mars inspired painting. So if you're just tuning in, this is part of my solar system series. As you can see behind me, we've gone through the galaxy, the sun, and then stepped our way from Mercury, Venus, and then Earth. Mars is the final planet of the rocky planets, meaning that they all have a rocky core. So beyond that is the asteroid belt, and then we get to start the gas giants, which I'm really excited about. So Mars is going to be fun though, because number one, it has a lot of really cool, fun facts. And then two, I love these warm, rich, reddish brown colors. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to play and how it's going to dry. Again, so the canvas I'm using is a 12-inch by 12-inch gallery wrap canvas from Artist Loft. I have the back taped and pinned. For this method of, spreading the paint, I'm just gonna do a normal tilt. And then for the technique for, making Mars, I'm just gonna do a simple flip cup. So here's a picture of Mars. You can see that it has beautiful hues of browns and then the reddish color that we all see from, Earth. And then also has a little bit lighter portions here and there. And then we can't forget the polar ice caps. So walking through what those colors actually are that I'm going to be using, I've made a few custom ones, so I'll walk you through them. Again, the most obvious one is this reddish brown color. First fun fact, Mars is that beautiful reddish brown color because of iron oxide, meaning the entire surface of the planet is basically covered in rust. So that's what color we're working with today. It actually got its name, Mars, from the Roman god of war because of its color. It's so pretty. So in order to make that beautiful reddish orange color, I did use a lot of the yellow oxide from Ep.6. And then I did add this cadmium red medium hue from Ep.6 to get that orangey red color. Then just to darken it slightly, I added just a drip of burnt umber from Ep.6. And then to make this, kind of creamy orangey tan color, I used one of my new favorite colors, cashew. I'm so excited to use this in the fall, but this is from Master's Touch. I did add quite a bit of the yellow oxide as well. And then just to tone down the warmth, it was like really vibrant warm. I did add just a little bit of neutral gray to kind of cool it down. And then last but not least, you saw that Mars has a little bit of brown in it. So I'm going to use this sparingly because we all know dark colors can take over very fast. But that is just straight burnt umber from Ep.6. And then for our polar ice caps, I just have some of this leftover white. I'm not sure how it's going to play because it is Amsterdam titanium white. We know Amsterdam titanium white creates a lot of cells. That's not what I'm going for in this painting, but I think if I just, my plan is to make the Mars colors and then just come in on the top with this color, just a little bit of white to, we got to include those polar ice caps, right? They're infamous. All right, let's get started layering our cup. So next fun fact, Mars is the second smallest planet in our solar system. And I think I knew that, but I was a little bit surprised to find out that it's only half the size of Earth. So we talked last week about Venus. Venus is very similar size to Earth, but Mars is about half the size of Earth, which I thought was interesting. One thing to note though, Mars actually has the tallest volcano in our entire solar system. So it's called Olympus Mons. And I thought it was really cool because it's actually 3 times taller than Mount Everest on Earth, which is kind of hard to fathom. But, once Elon gets us up there, those hikers are going to want to be climbing it. So let's prepare us for that, huh? All right. So what I did, I've just layered my cup. I started with this orange creamy tan color. Then I went to my vibrant red, a little bit more of the cream, brown, and then the Mars red. So, all right, let's do this. I'm getting so good at that. Wow, cool. All right, so while that's percolating, I am going to use a lot of my extra here just as a flow extender. So we want the paint to glide very easily over the surface. My consistency is actually a little bit on the thicker side today. I didn't want it super runny because I want some blending, but I don't want a ton of blending. So okay. All right, now I'm just gonna spread this around a tiny bit, cover my sides and edges while I'm at it so we don't have any white peeking through. Okay, now that we got that set up, let's pull up our cup. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, beautiful. I love this ombre color. How cool. How cool. All right, set that down for paint skin jewelry because that's something else I make too. All right. So let me pop some air bubbles here. All right, let's get to stretching. This is gorgeous. And I love how we got some of the brown, we got some of the tan, we got all the colors. So I'm really excited about that. And mostly red, which is what I wanted. All right, let's go off this corner first. Come back. And then while we're down here, we'll go off this corner. Come back. All right, now we can go off these sides here. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more this way. We do have lots of paint on here, so. And I kind of want it to go diagonal off here. Okay. We can bring it back. All right, I think we're ready to add our polar ice caps here. So where do I want to do that? Maybe up in this area. So there's a lot of red up here, so I think maybe that'll add a nice balance. All right, so I'm just gonna take my white paint and put it on the corner here and then stretch it out. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna put it up here. There's this one section that I don't like so much, so why not put it up there? All right. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Let me make sure the sides are good. I think they're really good. I'll grab the camera and bring you down for a close-up of the wet reveal. All right, here's the close-up. Look how cool these colors are. Oh yeah, that red is popping. And then we got the mix of brown in here. I love how it's actually kind of breaking. That actually helps add to the texture. Hmm. We'll have to see where Olympus Mons is. All right, let's see how this one dries, everyone. All right, here we are with dried results. This dried so cool. Look at some of this detail. These colors are so rich and vibrant, very Mars-like. We got some brown, deep valleys. We got some peaks. This part right here is really, really cool. It looks like those dunes that build up. So something we didn't talk about as our fun facts is Mars has crazy dust storms, sometimes that take over the whole planet. So I love the details there. I did have to come back in and add some more white for my polar ice cap. It really sunk into the paint, so but no big deal. But this is really cool. I'm very happy with this result. Another fun fact about Mars that we didn't cover, it has two moons. They're called Phobos and Deimos. And so we're starting to get into planets with a moon or a satellite, if you will. So obviously Earth has one, Mars has two. The gas giants we're going to start next, they have a lot. So my camera to focus here, but I love all these details. Definitely a Martian vibe. God of War. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Well, thanks so much for tuning in with me again today. I hope you enjoyed the process. I'm really excited about how the solar system series is turning out. Really excited to get to the gas giants. So do me a favor, like and subscribe to my channel. That way you can stay up to date on all my upcoming videos. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.